I'm Lovelet Gonzaga Leiden.
I'm Jade Mercado.
Hi, my name is Lorraine G. Punto. I was an OFW in Vietnam for 7 years.
I'm a former OFW. I work in Singapore in the field of sales and marketing.
A former OFW in the field of education and also a musician for 10 years.
OFW. Many Filipinos, including myself, have experienced and chosen to become OFW. We are leaving our families behind, sacrificing and separating from our loved ones, and exchanging for service, study, and effort for our future life. Let's talk about migration. Hello and have a good day. My name is Jason Britanico. I'm a third-year student at St. Scholastica's College, Manila, taking a bachelor's in music production and technology. Today, I invited some former OFWs, and I prepared a few questions for them to answer it individually and for me to critically analyze the opportunities and challenges of being a Filipino who works overseas. So, without further ado, let's go and hear their thoughts, experience, and their stories. Question number 1. What are the positive and negative implications of working overseas?
I want to talk about the positives first. Number 1 for me is the opportunity to earn better. When you work abroad, you get paid more because they expect you to offer something that they don't have. So with the skills and the talents that you bring, you'll get paid better.
Working abroad has broadened up my network in meeting people other than my countrymen. It has also opened up my horizon in terms of reaching far places and undeniably offered higher salaries.
It's the sense of independence. When you go abroad, you're on your own. There's no families, relatives, or even friends who'll be there when you need help. So you learn everything on your own. You learn to buy groceries. You learn how to cook. Take care of yourself when you're sick. So everything you do, you'll be responsible for it. So that for me is positive.
There are plenty of implications when you work overseas. One of the positive implications is that they will always have an impression that you're paid good, that you have plenty of money. And I can say that sometimes it's good that they have that impression on you, but in reality, they don't really understand that you're also renting, you're also eating, and all these expenses are in dollars. But at the end of the month, your savings is not that much anymore.
Character building. When you go abroad, you meet people from all walks of life. You'll encounter situations you've never experienced before. You'll handle things first time. And you'll get time to reflect on yourself. So you'll get the chance to build your character.
The adverse effects mostly would be about missing out life events at home. That will be in my family and also with my friends.
Now let's talk about the negatives. Number 1 for me, of course, would be homesickness. You'll miss everything back home, especially your family. Especially during Christmas. Christmas feels different abroad. There's no fruit salad. There's no spaghetti. And of course, your family. The sense of belongingness. You'll miss that. So, you'll be lonely. There'll be times that you'll be lonely. Okay, number 2 would be discrimination. Of course, when you're abroad, the locals will envy you because you earn more than them.
There are also negative implications. One of the things that I don't like is that when you're working overseas, they always have implications that you're an OFW, you're working in a household environment, you're a maid.
And others will hate you for getting the job that they like. So there'll be discrimination.
On my case, I work in sales and marketing, and I work in a middle management. I'm not maid, and if ever you're a maid, it doesn't degrade you as a person, and it's alright. It's alright if you're in that kind of job.
Next for me is pressure. When you go abroad, there's pressure to do better, to earn better. That's gonna hurt you sometimes. So that for me are the downsides of working overseas.
Question number 2. How are the family dynamics affected when a family member works overseas?
Okay, for me, what's greatly affected is the relationship between husband and wife. It is not very uncommon to hear broken marriages for couples who are in this kind of situation. Why? Because of loneliness. Because of that feelings of loneliness, they find ways to overcome it. They tend to find happiness in the wrong places. Like finding comfort from the people who are physically present, who are near them. Kagaya nga ng sinabi nila, pinagpalit sa malapit. Next would be for the kids who were left, let's say when both parents went abroad. The children will have feelings of abandonment. And that's sad. And for the parents, they will miss the little things that creates that connection with their kids. And there's that yearning feeling that you want to be there on their special occasions. Like graduation. It's sad because you will not be able to see them grow. When you come home, there's that isolating feeling because you don't really know them anymore.
I can say that the hardest thing that I experience is that the homesick. You're very, very homesick, that you felt you don't belong in that place. And then you felt that you want to go home, but you cannot. You can go home anytime, but you need to get back on Monday. And you cannot do that every weekend. Sometimes you felt that you want to go home and just be with your family, your mom, your dad. And during the time when I was working, my mom always calls me almost every night because she's worried of me. And my dad also calls me. And there's just this kind of connection in the Philippines. On my case, I felt that way. And sometimes it's not healthy anymore because sometimes you're not focused on your work because you felt you're not belong in that place. There's this thing that calls balance. You need to think that should I go home with my family or should I stay in Singapore? You have plenty of opportunities when you stay in Singapore and the pay is good. And sometimes you need to think, my career or should I go home? And there was these things that always bothering me during that time. And I need to weigh it. I need to weigh it. And it's the reason why I come back to the Philippines. I get back to the Philippines and I decided that I want to stay in my family with my dad and my mom. So I decided to stay here. I have a jewelry business. I'm selling silver jewelry, and then I'm also selling other precious metals. And my recent business is that I also sell musical instruments. So it's one of the reasons. Now once I did that, I felt there's peace inside my heart.
As what they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and my family often anticipated for my homecoming at least every 2 years.
Your absence, they have already created their little world that you cannot relate to anymore. So, it creates gap between family members.
Number 3. What are the challenges that OFWs face in adapting the foreign cultures?
One of which, working in outside the country, I can say, is that adjustment in cultures. On my case, I work in an environment of British. I don't have a hard time adjusting in their culture. First is that I can speak English well. I can communicate. I can say, they can understand me, I can understand them.
If it's not an English-speaking country, the language barrier is at most concern. As for my work ethics, and also for Filipinos, I have observed that they have minimal problems with adaptation of values.
Next is the food. I have no problems with the food. I eat what they eat, so it's a good thing though. Working environment is good. One of the things that give me adjustment is that the difficult thing is the deadlines. When they said that work will be done on Wednesday, by hook or by crook, when you say it's Wednesday, it should be Wednesday. There's no more extension. I was so stressed because I was thinking that this is okay. I can make amendments. I can use my charm and extend it to another 2 days. But I realized that it doesn't work that way. When you said that it's Wednesday, it should be on Wednesday. It's not in their mind, it's not in their culture. They're very frank and honest. If they don't like you, they would say it in your face that I don't like the smell of your perfume. So
is the excitement of learning and exploring a different culture. When you go to a different country, the moment the plane lands, everything will feel different. The smell, the air, everything. For example, when I went to Vietnam, I was shocked to see the streets flooded with motorbikes. I thought there was a parade, but no. Because motorbikes are their main mean of transportation. So I was shocked, but it was nice.
in that kind of culture, I have learned also that it's nice to be frank, but sometimes I find it rude. But along the way, it makes me realize that it's better to be frank and honest with the person. That's only one of the things that I need to adjust. It's very, very hard for me to say frank if I said that I don't like. But along the way, that I was being honest and I said, no, I don't like that. I don't like that kind of food. And a German friend told me, oh yeah, Jade, you're honest now. And they said that I'm becoming British. And man, I miss those people. They're just so nice. They're just so nice. British is British. Customer service is top priority. Ambience and products is also very, very important to them. It's a learning curve, I can say. Though I've learned a lot, and it's a good experience though.
Number 4. Do the opportunities in working overseas outweigh the challenges that OFW face?
I believe so. Not unless they work in countries with extreme differences of beliefs and ways of living.
Yes, because the main reason why many go abroad is for the future, to have a brighter future, and for their families to live a comfortable life. And those reasons are enough to keep going, because the motivation is so strong. And that is love. And that is enough to keep going.
And the last but not the least is question number 5. Can exporting labor be considered as the country's comparative advantage?
It's good that Filipino are exporting our own talents. Its own advantage that we need to export our own talents outside the country. But sometimes it's not good because, for example, like the teachers, we have good teachers working abroad, and then sometimes our schools don't have good teachers anymore. We should give priority to our fellow citizens, our fellow children, rather those people that we export outside the country.
In recent studies, it does help boost the Philippine economy in terms of the dollar payouts that the OFWs send at home. However, the average number of professionals in certain fields, say for example engineers, teachers, or nurses, were diminished as they prefer to work or serve abroad instead of the Philippines.
And sometimes, the sad thing is that the discrimination of other Filipino workers, especially who work in the household, who works in the blue-collar jobs, they tend to be discriminated. And I don't think that it's a good thing. I know the government is doing their best to address this kind of problem, but it would take us some time to bring back our glory as a Filipino, that we should not be discriminated.
Different laws, different norms, different traditions, and you will learn to adapt to it. Then you will realize that there's a lot going on in the world, and everything that you do has an impact globally.
Because somehow we have talents that we possess that other race don't have.
And that's all for today. Once again, my name is Jason Britanico, and saying working overseas might be difficult, but when we think of our family and our needs and our future, we as a Filipinos are always ready to go and sacrifice. Still, if we have more opportunities not to go overseas and stay with our family, we better choose to live with our family, as life is too short. Let's enjoy every moment of our lives with our loved ones. Well, that's all for today's topic about migration. I hope you find this video interesting, and I hope to hear from you too. Bye for now, and again, thank you very much for watching, and have a blessed day.